Chef Kyle Sink from Jeff's Maine Seafood up in St. Albans, Vermont. What are you making for us today?
I'm going to make you a apple cider and maple pork chop.
Nice. That sounds awesome. Yep. So tell us about the food at Jeff's Maine Seafood, because it's mostly seafood, but you guys do a bunch of other stuff too.
Yes, we do. We do all different types of food. We do steak, seafood, pork, as you can see. It's a full menu.
Busy place?
It is a busy place.
And then you guys do like catering on the side too?
We do. We do a full catering in-house and out-of-house.
Wow.
We'll do on-site if you're interested, and it's...
I'm interested.
Yeah.
Well, depending on how this goes. We'll see how this goes. All right. So how do we get going?
Okay, so we got our pans going, and we're on about a medium heat right now.
Okay.
So we'll start with the oil, just regular old vegetable oil, canola oil, whatever you got. And you're looking at about a teaspoon to a tablespoon, depending. So... it's nice. Get that going there.
All right.
I've got the pork chops pre-brined.
So explain what brine is to the folks that don't know.
Okay, so a brine typically is where you use a salt, a flavoring, and water, and you whisk the salt into it.
Yeah.
And put the pork or whatever meat really you have in there and let it sit. You can let it sit for anywhere from 2 hours to 24 hours.
And what does it do to the meat?
It gives it flavor. So
yep.
This particular pork chop was flavored with apple cider and maple syrup.
That's the way to go. Yeah, so. And that salt really just adds flavor to it. I mean, if you haven't done it, if you haven't maple brined the turkey, you should really start, because it makes a big difference. I'm a big believer.
It does make a difference, absolutely. So now that we've got our oil going, we'll definitely get the pork in the pan here.
Okay.
So, you know, it's hot. So be careful.
And I love this. I love the fact that he bought restaurant pans.
There you go.
Most people are thinking like, oh, you know, I have these perfect home pans. When you worked in restaurants for as long as me and you see restaurant pans, it just brings back a lot of memories.
There you go. And obviously, if you want to use a bigger pan, you can do that and put the pork chops in all together.
For sure.
Save you a little time and cleaning at the end, really.
Oh, it's all right. This is the last one, so we can dirty it up all we want.
So what we're going to do, we're going to let them sear in the oil for a little while, and we're going to get them to a nice golden brown. You want that nice golden brown sear on the side.
Okay.
So we'll let them go a little bit. And I'm actually going to turn up the heat because we want it on high.
And we were talking about this too. You've been at Jeff's Maine's for 7 years.
Yep, it'll be 7 years coming up in August.
Yeah. So I mean, if you haven't been there, food's great. I mean, every time I'm up that way, I stop in it. It's always super consistent, super delicious, great atmosphere.
I appreciate it. So we're going to check. It looks like this one's getting near where we want to be. Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Beauty. See the nice
golden brown, that fat, super crisp. I just love the fact that you didn't trim off the fat.
No. That's half of the fun. Well, that one's not quite ready, but we'll give it a turn anyways, just to keep it consistent. So now that we've got them turned, you can see the nice golden brown on there. And I'm going to move along to the apple cider portion right here.
Okay, and is this just local apple cider?
Yeah, we typically try to stay as local as possible at Jeff's. So Alban Home, which is in South Hero, and also Hackett's is right next to it. Of course, when it's out of season, it's out of season. So what we're going to do
is when you just switch to beer.
It's not a bad idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to deglaze the pan with just a little bit of cider.
Okay. And deglazing is, you know, that's where it gets like all those little nubby brown pieces that are in there. It picks them up off the pan. That's all that flavor that's in there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This one, probably a little less than that one. So we've deglazed quite nicely.
Okay.
This one's going real well. So once you've deglazed the pan, make sure that the cider comes to a boil.
Okay.
At this point, we want to have our oven at a broil temperature.
Okay.
So what
we can do that.
Yep. So we got it over there. Other one, Sean.
Magic oven.
There we go.
Here we go. So this magic oven actually works. It's amazing.
So we're going to throw that one in.
Okay.
And this one, we'll throw this one in too.
All right.
We're right where we need to be. Thank you very much. There we go.
Perfect.
Now, the cooking time on that is probably about 5 to 7 minutes, depending on the size of your pork chop.
Okay.
Yep. So we're going to let this one just simmer here, and I'm going to turn down just to a medium heat on these guys. There. And we'll bring him over. And I'm going to show you how to do the sauce while those cook.
I like the sauce.
All right, do it right in the pan,
into it.
right here. So we've got the nice boil going with the apple cider.
Okay.
And we're going to take our maple syrup.
There we go. And what do you like to use?
I usually like a darker, a grade B.
See, I mean, that's the thing. It's everybody. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the light, especially because when you get fancy, you get it at the beginning of the season. I mean, there's nothing like it. It's amazing. But
it is.
When I cook, when I want to taste maple, I go with the dark.
Yeah. The dark, I think it's got more flavor. I'm no expert, but...
You're an expert. You're in Vermont. You're an expert.
No expert, but I like that. So usually dark, Brannan's, because we're right near where their maple syrup distributor basically is, right there in Fairfield. So Brandon's maple syrup typically. And we're just going to let that simmer a little bit.
Sounds good.
And it'll cook it down. We'll try to reduce as much as possible.
Okay, and that reduction, it's a concentration of the flavors. So now you got the cider, you got the maple syrup in there, and then what are you going to add to it? It's
I'm going to finalize it with some cream.
Right, and
just
so
heavy cream.
A lot of people they just they want to stay away from the richness of it, but don't. Like everybody should have heavy whipping cream in their fridge. It's a staple in my house. I mean, whether it's whipped cream or whatever, you can get it in a can. If you're a sinner, but I would really recommend the real thing. Nothing better than the real thing.
Yeah, it's really good, and it's not the healthiest stuff, but it's good, and we're not going to use a lot of it.
Yeah, we're not going to use a ton.
We're going to use a minimum amount, which I'm going to do.
And it just helps build that richness, that palate.
Yeah. So we're getting a nice reduction here, and literally that much.
Perfect.
That much. Now, if you have a whisk at home, a whisk is nice because you get to mix it a little smoother and you don't splash it around so much.
Yeah, but we're on TV. Nobody knows that we're burning this set.
Right. So, and that pork chop was actually done in the pan.
Great.
So we're going to pull it out.
Okay.
And we're going to actually...
here you go.
Please, Sean. Thank you. We're going to put it right on the plate, right in the center or wherever you like to put it.
Perfect. Should we pull out these other ones?
Yeah. Let's give it a check.
All right.
Hold on. I got to get my towel over there. And
I got you.
You sure? Okay.
Woo.
Yeah, they're hot.
They are hot. Oh, look at that. Like the old days.
Look at that. He knows what he's doing.
Hand action.
There you go.
Oh, gosh.
Nice work.
That is the old days right there.
Yeah, you can stack them up if you like, whatever you want to do. And put those pans right back on the heat.
Wow,
look at Sean go.
All right, now it's you. I'm closing that oven.
Now you may have guessed, this is not one serving.
No. Well, I mean, if you're hungry, you can really go for a little bit.
Yep. So now that we've got those out of the broiler, we just do the same thing. A little maple syrup. This one's looking real good. A little maple syrup and a little bit of cream.
All right.
And then we reduce it down. There we go.
Man, that is incredible. Incredibly easy, too.
Very simple.
I mean, if you're looking for something with the kids, get some nice pork cutlets.
Yep.
Brine them up, pan sear them. Chicken, this would work great with chicken. Steak tips, you could do this with steak tips. I mean, really anything, Yep. A sauce is a vehicle for so much that you do.
Very much so. We're looking good. And obviously, with the sauce, thicker if you like, or if you like a thin sauce, that's fine too. And this one's looking right about where it want to be. Nice little bubbles in there.
That's good.
And then you just...
Oh, man, that's just beautiful.
Just like so.
Awesome.
I think that's my cue.
That is your cue to come. Neil's back. He's done collecting all your fine money. He appreciates all you young kids going through your parents' goods and mailing their checkbooks, credit cards, and digital devices for us to cash in. And I don't have a fork or a knife, but maybe we should just
we need
grab
to get
a chop.
Fork and knife. We gotta
We just
test
grab
this
a
out.
chop too, maybe.
And I want to mention that Kyle
at
Jeff's Maine Seafood is right on the park in St. Albans. So definitely take the time to visit these guys during the Vermont Maple Festival.
Oh,
Absolutely.
that's right.
That's
you guys
right.
are going to be crazy busy there.
Yep. Definitely open then. And we try to incorporate maple syrup with as much stuff as we can.
Nice. Maple steamed lobsters, it is.
There you go. Yep.
All right, Neil, I'll do a little cutting for you.
Sure, jump right in there.
It smells unbelievably good.
Thank you.
Oh man, that is really, 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 really tender.
Maple-licious.
Yeah.
Little big bite.
That is a big bite. Man, that is tender.
Maple.
That is really good.
And you can add more maple syrup if you got the sweet tooth. Like you had said earlier in the segments there.
Pour it all over it.
You got it, Sean.
Drink it a little.
Kyle, this is unbelievable.
Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you so much.
So if you haven't been to Jeff's Maine Seafood in St. Albans, come in, say hello to Kyle. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Delicious. And make this dish at home. This should be one that everybody should be able to knock out.